Hey divas, welcome to the channel. So before this video begins, I did just want to say a disclaimer and say that there will be some heavier topics mentioned in this video, such as sexual assault. So if this is a topic you want to hear nothing about, please feel free to click away. Also, I'm just posting this video with the intent of reporting, sharing a big topic that's going around the internet right now, but obviously I'm not there dealing with this situation firsthand, so everything I say in this video is just based off of what I've heard online and my own personal opinion, so please don't take what I say as solid proof. And please don't use this video as an excuse to spread hatred towards any party involved in this topic. I just wanted to report a bigger incident that is going around on TikTok. I also have made the decision to just blur the faces of everybody involved here. Even if it can easily be found on TikTok, it's not my intention to use this video to exploit anyone involved. It's just my intention to report on an incident that's going around online. So if you choose to seek this out and see it yourself, that's up to you. But if not, we're just reporting off of what I've been able to find on the internet. So right now on TikTok, the whole internet is divided on a circumstance which occurred between a DoorDash driver and a DoorDash customer, as everyone's fighting to figure out who's right and who's wrong in this particular situation. The incident has completely blown up, and people are even potentially resorting to lies to make their side seem better. So I'm going to start off by explaining the situation point blank period for what it is, with everything that seems to be unchanging and, pretty solid in what it is, but I will go on and give my opinions on this situation after the fact. I am unclear on this woman's name, but judging by her profile, it looks as though her name was Livy, so I'm going to be calling her Livy. So basically, a woman named Livy posted a TikTok in which she was describing an uncomfortable situation that she dealt with while dropping off a DoorDash order.
3 days ago, October 12th, 2025, I was a victim of SA by a DoorDash customer while I was doing my job as a DoorDash driver. Excuse me if you've already seen this. This is my third time posting this because TikTok keeps silencing me and taking my videos down and giving me strikes. So if I get one more strike, you guys, I'm just letting you know right now my account is going to be banned. So I'm going to try to word this as chill as possible to avoid getting this video striked. So on October 12th, 2025, the DoorDash customer requested that their order be left at their front door. When I arrived at their front door was wide open. Their lights were on, and they were sleeping on the couch within eyesight of the front door with their pants and underwear pulled down to their ankles, and they were indecently exposed to me. I got this on video, and I'm not even going to be posting the video clip anymore because I'm pretty sure that's what's getting me the strikes. But yeah, I reported it to DoorDash, and DoorDash did ban the customer, and then 2 days later, DoorDash banned me, which doesn't seem unrelated. I appealed, and they were supposed to respond to my appeal within 7 to 10 business days. They didn't even provide me a reason for my deactivation. They're supposed to send an email. They didn't. So I contacted support, and they told me to continue with my appeal without knowing a reason why. There's an option to select, don't know why I was deactivated, and then you still have to explain yourself. So I did. And within 12 hours afterward, they had already denied my appeal. So I'm really never getting my DoorDash account back. DoorDash deactivated me. DoorDash punished me for exposing my assaulter, and TikTok is currently punishing me for exposing my story time, and this is the only justice I'm getting because I also reported this to the police, and the police are doing nothing. So what? You're gonna take down my videos and give me strikes and just expect me to be like, oh, I just better shut up. I just better sit here and be quiet. I just better not say anything else. I've lost my job, my only way to pay my bills and make a living. I've also gotten assaulted, and the police are doing nothing to help me. So let me just shut up. The videos got taken down. Nobody has to know what happened to me. No, I'm going to keep telling my story. This is the only justice I'm getting, is exposing this man and having posted that video and it has gone viral. Now he can live with shame and embarrassment if people have seen it and knows who he is or where he, you know what I'm saying? I'm the one being punished. He's not getting in trouble with the police. He didn't lose his job if he has one. What's going on with him? Why am I getting fired? Why are my videos getting taken down? And why am I getting strikes? I'm about to lose my account. I was assaulted. I'm the victim. I lost my job. I'm the victim. Right? Is this making sense to any fucking buddy?
While the video that I showed is the one that is largely capturing people's attention, allegedly there was at least 2 or 3 other videos that Livy posted before that one where she was describing the same situation, but those videos were supposedly taken down before they caught a lot of traction online, and this one is really the first one that actually picked up and got people watching and seeing and talking about the situation. Livy also claimed that the other videos that she posted were taken down by TikTok, likely because of the language that she used, because as we all know, the internet is very sensitive about things you can or cannot say, which is why people have resorted to using terms such as S-aid in place of sexual assault. So she believed largely the reason it was taken down was because of the language she was using, but also because she attached a video, which has also been circulating the internet, which she filmed when the incident that she was describing took place.
Michaela K's original video with original audio.
That's fucked up.
The video in which she posted is showing the guy in question sitting on his couch. A lot of people were upset by the video that Livy posted because they claimed that she entered his home in order to take the video, or that she pushed his door open in order to take the video, and obviously the fact that she decided to upload the video publicly, forcing other people to see what she saw, and also just, uploading this guy while he was in the privacy of his own home. Livy did say that she filed a complaint with DoorDash and ended up at least temporarily getting the customer involved banned. But as well as the customer being blocked from DoorDash, at least temporarily, in turn, Livy also got fired from her job, which obviously she felt was unjust, and she felt like people were just trying to silence her story. After the initial video, Livy ended up posting several follow-up videos updating the audience of how the situation was going and expressing her concern over the fact that nobody was handling the situation in the way that she felt it should be handled.
Hey guys, so yep, I really lost my job. Within less than 24 hours after me submitting my appeal, they denied it. And in the email they said, you can respond to the previous email that you received explaining the reason why you were deactivated. I never got the email. So last night, I contacted one support agent. We sat on the phone for 25 minutes, and then she transferred me to the community response team. The person on the community response team told me that was the highest team I could get to. There's literally nobody else she could transfer me to. I could hang up the phone and call back and then get transferred to the community response team again. So I sat on the phone with her for another 25, 30 minutes. And she told me that she couldn't tell me. There's no way that they could tell me what the reason why I just lost my job.
That's basically the story summed up, but of course we all know it goes a bit deeper and further than just that. At first, the internet was a bit sympathetic to Livy's situation, but as it gained more traction, Livy just started receiving enormous amounts of hate for several different things. And before I go too far into this, before somebody finds this video who's going to largely disagree with everything I'm going to say, you can save yourself the anger and click out of this video now. I think both people mentioned in this video, the customer and Livy, were wrong in at least one way. I don't think one party is entirely innocent in this situation, and I don't think either of them are just a helpless victim in this situation. I think they've both done something that is wrong, but I also don't think Livy is the complete monster in this situation either. So I'm just gonna lay that out straight for you guys. So if you were just looking to hate on Livy and not hear any other perspectives or opinions, feel free to click away now. But I do think the whole story is very interesting, so we're going to pick it apart a little bit. So the first thing that sort of started having people jump on the Livy hate train was her use of the term SA and describing the situation as a sexual assault when that is not what it is classified as. Of course, people also then chose to be upset that she was filming and uploading the incident publicly when technically the guy was in his own home and shouldn't have been filmed, and if it was filmed, at the very least it shouldn't have been uploaded publicly. Of course, people are also upset that she jumped online complaining about how she lost her job, acting as if it was unjust, when people obviously felt as though she deserved it. I'm bringing this up now because I do feel like it's very important and relevant to the story. DoorDash itself did upload a statement following the incident regarding why Livy got fired from DoorDash. We've seen some rough and sensitive posts over the past few days, and we want to clear the air. No one should have to experience sexual assault, harassment, or abuse, and DoorDash never deactivates someone for reporting it, full stop. We take these reports incredibly seriously and work closely with law enforcement to investigate and support those affected. In this case, the Dasher let us know about an experience that made them feel unsafe, and that's exactly what we want Dashers to do. Our team immediately began investigating and has been in direct contact with law enforcement and is prepared to fully support any of their efforts. However, posting a video of a customer in their home and disclosing their personal details publicly is a clear violation of our own policies. That is the sole reason that this Dasher's account was deactivated along with the customers while we investigated. We've also ensured that the Dasher has full access to their earnings. We know that these are sensitive situations and want every Dasher to know if you feel unsafe or experience something concerning, come to us. We're here to listen, act, and support. So after DoorDash themselves spoke up, this really just increased the hatred that Livy was receiving as the story going around the internet really started developing into something more. The story that sort of started going around was that Livy saw this and decided to step into the home, open the door to take the video that she did and leave the food, completely breaking the customer's request to just leave the order at the door, and people started insisting that she had no right to step foot inside the customer's house to take the video. Like I said before, also obviously calling out her use of calling the situation sexual assault. People started calling her out for that, saying things like, as somebody who's actually been sexually assaulted, this is so infuriating, and okay, we need to define what SA actually is. Why did she go into his house and film him? He's the victim here. DoorDash did the right thing. People also use this to increase their defense to the customer, insisting that he's the one who should be pressing charges instead. One comment said, "The order said leave at the door was open, but she opened it more. She entered his home. She took pictures of him passed out. She published pictures of him online. He is the victim." And another simply stating, "He's the victim." And imagine you take a nap after work and find out someone walked into your house, filmed you, and is now saying you SA'd them. And she walked into his house, recorded his body, invaded his privacy, and she had the audacity to call the police, charge him with SA, and she's the one acting like the victim. People were also posting videos mocking the incident, being like what she could have done in the situation instead.
This man is naked and is sleeping with the door wide open. I should call the cops and do a wellness check. He might not be okay.
Mostly regarding her just kind of shrugging and walking away, or just, dropping the food and leaving. So, I'm going to start off by talking about some of the things I agree with where Livy was definitely in the wrong. First and foremost, of course, I do agree that the incident was not sexual assault and she should not be labeling it as such. There was also claims that this incident was indecent exposure, although I don't think that this even classifies as indecent exposure. Since this wasn't in a public space, I don't think it's classified as indecent exposure as well. I am obviously not 100% sure what this incident would be classified as, but it very clearly made Livy uncomfortable. Now, obviously, I do understand that referring to this incident as sexual assault would and should upset many people who have actually been sexually assaulted, as if we just continue to throw the term around loosely to describe any vaguely inappropriate scenario, it's going to take away the meaning and is going to make situations where people truly describe what happened to them seem less important or less real. And the last thing we want to do is invalidate people who are coming forward with their terrible stories trying to get support and help. And just labeling anything as sexual assault definitely takes away the brutality of sexual assault. We definitely don't want to be making a mountain out of a molehill, and I do think that Livy was wrong to classify this situation as such. However, I don't think she was wrong to feel uncomfortable. However, I don't think her feelings of discomfort regarding this situation were invalid or wrong. I just think she was wrong about the way she described the situation. The other thing that people think Livy is wrong for is stepping into the customer's home, and that she admitted this on camera, and that's the reason why so many people are upset with her, is they believe that she just violated this customer's privacy by stepping foot in his home. Another thing I can agree with for certain is that it was wrong to film, or at the very least wrong to publicly upload this video, because first of all, obviously she doesn't know who's going to be watching that video, and that's not something that just anybody and everybody should be seeing. And technically, even if the customer was also wrong, he was in his own home and not in a public space. He should not have been filmed and uploaded. That was wrong. There were also people claiming that there's not even proof that the person in the video is the one who ordered the food, so Livy technically could have just been filming a random man in this house and not even the customer himself, which I guess is technically true. I'll touch into that a little later though when I focus more on the man. And like I said, I agree that she was wrong to film, and if she did step foot in his house, I agree that that would be wrong, but there really is no evidence to actually suggest that she entered his home. It seems to be just a story that people made up on the internet and started running with, or people added to the story to make her seem more wrong than she was. Despite the fact that this video allegedly exists, I have not found it anywhere on the internet. There's supposedly doorbell camera footage from the customer that he uploaded that shows her opening his door. The only proof that I've really seen is the same video that Livy posted herself, which people have just cropped to make it look like it was taken inside the home, when in reality it was taken outside of the door. Obviously, there is no proof in this video that she didn't enter his home, but it's not definite proof that she did, because in the video she is outside the door. People were making claims that this doorbell footage was supposedly on Twitter and all these places, but I have not found it anywhere. So as far as I'm aware, she did not enter his home. The video was taken outside the home. And despite the claims that there's all this footage, I haven't seen it anywhere. I even checked Twitter to see if this video supposedly existed on Twitter, because I don't want to get on here and say, no, she didn't enter his home, if she really did. But finding Twitter, I was also just as unsuccessful in finding this evidence. And I found another post from someone on Twitter saying, "This witch hunt over the DoorDash girl is driving me insane. Thousands of people claiming to have either a video where she pushed a door open, or B, ring camera footage that shows she went into his house. Where is this footage then?" And I have to agree. I have yet to stumble across this footage, stumble across this proof, and these people are talking a big game, but they have nothing to supply. And let me be clear, I am not trying to just blindly defend the woman. When I first heard the story, I was on the customer's side because of what the internet was saying. Had she really just been dropping off an order, decided to disregard the instructions to leave it at the door and open his door, and then happened to stumble across him nude and file a report against that, obviously that would have been wrong. But all the evidence is leading to the fact that that is not what happened. While I was searching for evidence, I was just on a wild goose chase for evidence that seemingly doesn't exist, that people are just making up to fuel their side of the story and make it seem more valid. And it's honestly terrifying how quickly the internet can just start believing something. So I've covered the reasons why Livy was wrong, obviously uploading the video and claiming this to be sexual assault. But now I want to talk about the customer, because I don't think that they're solely innocent in this situation either. Now, the defenses against him are that he was in his own home and that he was asleep and that he didn't technically do anything. And the fact that there's no real evidence that that was in fact the customer. People argue that he has the right to be naked in his own home and do what he wants in his own home, and he shouldn't get a sexual assault charge for that. One person said to his defense, "I don't know why everyone is trying to guess on his intent or saying he did it on purpose. If he had malicious intent, why the fuck was he asleep? Like, pretend she didn't push open the door and he had it open. What would he gain from this by being asleep? He doesn't even see her reaction or anything when he's asleep." Which I do find kind of funny. Not funny, haha, but be so for real funny, as if sleep automatically makes this man innocent. Someone commented things like, "Bro probably forgot his DoorDash, did a quick goon sesh and went to sleep mid-goon," which, like, okay, but you still conveniently chose in front of the door that was wide open. And respectfully, how are you going to forget your order that quickly? Most orders are placed, right before you want to get them. I do think that the man on the couch was the customer, but for argument's sake, let's just say he was a random house guest. They know where the couch is positioned. They or somebody should have the knowledge that an online order was placed, but regardless, they know where the couch is, and they knew that the door was open, so anyone walking by could have just looked in and saw them on the couch. At which point, if it wasn't the customer who was laying on the couch, then you'd think the customer themselves would say, "Hey, I have an order on the way, maybe take that somewhere else." You know a delivery person is going to come up to your door and have a clear view inside. So while yes, you can be nude in your own home if you want, he still made the choice of where he was nude and when he was nude, and I do think it was deliberate. It wasn't as if Livy was an unexpected drop by either, like this guy genuinely fell asleep on the couch and someone stopped by unexpectedly. A DoorDash order is planned and scheduled for a specific time frame of delivery, so there was knowledge that she'd be coming when she did. He might have technically been in the privacy of his own home, but he was still conveniently right in front of the door, right when someone would be stopping by. I also find it funny people are just saying he fell asleep, he was asleep. Maybe he did genuinely fall asleep, but the fact of the matter is there was still an order placed for that time frame. Or, here's a thought, he could have been faking being asleep. It's incredibly easy to do. You essentially just have to shut your eyes. I did it all the time when I was a child and I wanted to be carried from the car into my relative's house. You literally just shut your eyes. Look at that. I was asleep. So I personally do believe that this was planned and somebody knew exactly what they were doing. Legally, the customer was not in the wrong because they were in their own house, so this wouldn't be classified as any of the things mentioned before. And since they were asleep, they also technically didn't do anything, so there's no legal issue of the issue. So, like I said, I think this was a curated plan where they knew there was technically nothing legally wrong, so there could be nothing done regarding the situation, but I do think it was done deliberately to make the DoorDasher uncomfortable, and I think that was wrong. I certainly don't think he was merely just a helpless victim who really did just happen to fall asleep on his couch. I do think it was deliberate and intentional and did exactly what he wanted it to do. Of course, people tried to pull the, oh, well, if the roles were reversed, people would be on the woman's side, no question. If the situation was reversed, it would still be wrong. The man still shouldn't have been filming the woman, but the woman also shouldn't have exposed herself knowing that an order was on the way. But I do still think her being upset over what she saw is valid, and I don't like that people are twisting it to make her out to be the complete monster in this scenario. Especially when, despite what people say, there's no actual evidence that she entered his home. I think that people have this tendency to think that they have to pick a side and that their side has to be completely flawless and perfect and that they will go to the end of the earth to defend their side. And the honest truth is that things don't have to be so black and white. One person doesn't have to be completely innocent for another person to also be wrong. And a person can, like, two things can be true at once. What she experienced wasn't right, but what she did in response to it also wasn't right. The customer can be wrong for exposing himself knowing a DoorDash order was coming, but it can also be wrong for his information and everything to be uploaded online. Two things can be true at once, and everything doesn't have to be so cut clear, you're right, you're wrong. It can be a shitty situation for everybody involved, and I think that people need to realize that. I think this also goes to show that you can't always believe everything you see on the internet, and it also shows just how quickly things can be twisted into something else. Internet is absolutely just a game of telephone, and all it takes is one small spark of a rumor for a whole wildfire on the internet to erupt. And I truly do think that people should know what they're talking about before they get online and cast blame or shame. Even before making this video, I searched for evidence that Livy entered his home because I didn't want to get on here and say she didn't if she truly did. She can be wrong, but you don't need to make up a part of the story that didn't happen just to make her out to be more wrong. And of course, the other main takeaway from this is that we should take sexual assault situations seriously, and we should not just falsely claim things or use the term lightly. If we want to raise awareness and speak out for those truly affected, obviously we should not use the term lightly and just let people take the word for what they will. But that is kind of just how I feel about the situation. The internet is truly a crazy place where rumors spread fast and stories spread fast, and it's crazy how fast one statement can turn into this. And it's crazy how many people can jump on and claim, well, I've seen this, I've heard this, and like, where's the evidence then? Like, if I'm wrong, if I truly am wrong, I do apologize. If she did enter his home, obviously that's wrong and I don't condone that. Um, but based off of the evidence that I'm seeing, it doesn't seem to me like she did enter his home. It seems to me like she experienced something that was uncomfortable for her, which is valid, and she just took it a bit too far when describing it, falsely labeled it, um, and obviously uploaded a video that she shouldn't have. That is going to be all for this situation, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See you on my next video. So.